Hey guys, what's up? Today I want to talk about my PS3 RPG collection. Well, 95 of these big bunch you see here are RPGs, specifically JRPGs. And the reason I want to talk about these games is one, because it is already my second favorite console of all time. Two, because this is the second console in which I have the most RPGs or the most video games in my collection. And three, because as you can see right here, there's a lot of ground to cover, so let's get right down to it. Alright, here's the first batch, all my Tales of games and other action RPGs. It's like the action RPG section now that I think about it. Anyway, let's start with these two PAL games, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning and Dragon's Dogma. These are really cheap games, especially this one. Fun games. This is a great game. I've talked about this game many times before in my channel. Dragon's Dogma, I think I've only talked like once, but that's because I've only played it for like 3 hours or so I can't exactly talk much about this game yet. I've been told it's a great game, so maybe I'll check it out one day in depth. Maybe I'll just put it on my PlayStation 3 and commit to finish it. Dragon's Crown, a great game. Nier, these are games that I just never showed up about in my other channel. Star Ocean, the same. Ortonelico Koga. Ortonelico is a game that a lot of people hate it. It's like the black sheep of the Ortonelico family, because this is where the series became action RPGs, but then they went back to turn-based RPGs with Arno Sorge. So maybe the developers realized their mistake. To me it wasn't a mistake, but to many people was. And I'm missing the Ortonelico 1 and 2 on the PS2. Those are really good games that I would love to have. Same with Manakimia 1 and 2. I don't know if you guys have heard of Manakimia on the PS2, and this is my Tales of series. This is also PAL, because this comes with a soundtrack, and it should have an art book, but I got it for like $10, this version right here, as it is, and art book wasn't there, unfortunately. Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, Tales of Xillia Limited Edition, Tales of Xillia 2, and the Black Sheep of the Family. The new Black Sheep of the Family, because before it was, Tales of the Tempest, Tales of Legendia, my favorite, Tales of Destiny. But, more people know this game and they hate it with a passion. I like it. Anyway, I know you're itching to see this version here, what it comes inside, so let's get right down to it. Alright, here it is. Tales of Xillia Limited Edition. It's not that big of a deal. You're about to see. Comes with a soundtrack, an art book, and some DLCs. As it says right here, the Tales of Fantasia characters. The Tales of Fantasia's custom DLC voucher. I never used it because, I don't really care about customs. The game, nothing special, just, the game and the code. And here is the soundtrack. It's sealed. Music CD, not exactly the whole soundtrack, but 12 songs. Sometimes you get these soundtracks in video games and they have like 5 or 6 songs, and that's pretty lame in my opinion, but it's okay, better than nothing. But 12 songs, that's a pretty solid number for a small soundtrack, and I love the artwork here. Mila looks beautiful. Anyway, let's take a look at the character book. It's not exactly an art book, it's a character book. Table of contents. Here is the profile of every single Tales of Xillia character. Jude Mathis, all of his portraits and reactions and expressions. More of him. Mila, super sexy, over-sexualized character. It makes no sense, her outfit makes no sense, because, you gotta play the game to understand why it doesn't make any sense, because she considers herself as the Lord of the Spirits and whatnot. And yeah, but anyway, that doesn't mean she doesn't look sexy as fuck. Her expressions, I love some of her expressions. They do pretty good for memes. Here's more of her. She's one of my favorite protagonists, female protagonists ever in a video game. I love her. Alvin. I love this guy as well. He was one of my favorite characters in the game. Elise as well. She's not your stupid, classic, lowly character that's always whining or just overly excited. I like Elise a lot. I didn't like it in the second game, but you know, I like it here. Tipo, everybody hates it, but I like him. He made me laugh every now and then. Tipo. Leia's is very generic. This is a character I really don't care about. Like, seriously. Way too generic for my taste. This guy's awesome, Rowan. Really awesome character. I'm glad they put an old man, knowledgeable. Well, he's the stereotype butler, but he's awesome in every way. That's the entire cast of characters. Some of the bad dudes. There's Presa over there. Anyway, that's it. Let's go back to more games. Alright, here's a second bunch of games that I own in my collection. You know, right now it's a pretty good time to collect for the PS3. I think this might be the last year, the last good year to collect for the PS3. I don't know why I get the feeling that next year some games are gonna become more expensive, like $30 to $40 each one of them. Even the ones like Valkyria Chronicles, which is cheap as hell nowadays. You can get this game for like $10. And it's one of the best, in my opinion, on the PS3. This is one of my absolute favorite RPGs on the system. Ni no Kuni was a gift from my buddy Luis in Brazil. Well, I'm not a fan of this game at all, but, you know, it's cool to have it. It's pretty collectible. You know, it's just a game that was so original and brought a lot of things to the industry. Lost Dimension, man, I love this game on the Vita, and I love it here on the PS3, though I haven't even played this version, only the one on the Vita. But this is my next game that I'm about to play, this version here. Fairy Fencer F, fan service game, but pretty fun. Atelier Shally, you know, it's part of the trilogies. This is part of the Dusk trilogy, the third game in the Dusk trilogy. I'm not a big fan of the Atelier games. I'm a big fan of this one in particular, but I play the others, both trilogies on the PS3, and they're okay, they're fun games, they're addictive to play, sort of like guilty pleasures. But if there's one out of the 6 games that I absolutely loved, is this one, because it has the best battle system, in my opinion, in the entire sixology, whatever. Both trilogies. The Agarest game, I'm missing the other one. Agarest Generations of War 2, also known as Record of Agarest War 2. And these are 2 games that are brutally hard, among the hardest on the system, man. This Gaia 4, Eternal Sonata, I love this game. You know, it's one of my favorites on the PS3 as well. That's one game I rarely shut up about in this channel. Well, in the other channel, I mean. Persona 5. The Persona fighting games, man, I absolutely love these games. I play a lot, and I mean a lot of fighting games in my life, and these 2 are my absolute favorites. I prefer to play these 2 games over any King of Fighters or any, I don't know, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Blast Blue, and Guilty Gear. Well, the same guys, Arc System Works, who made Guilty Gear series and Blast Blue series, made these 2 games. To me, Arc System Works is the absolute best developer when it comes to fighting games. Love that company. And these 2 games, man, I'm so excited. I love them, and I said I'm so excited because there might be a Persona 5 fighting game, maybe a Persona 5 Arena. Man, I can't wait for that. I would love to have it. There's a Persona 5 Warriors already, so maybe a fighting game is not much to hope for. Someday, but if it comes out, shut up and take my money. Alright, this is the last bunch. Most of these are not RPGs. This is the almost non-RPG part. Except for the Dragon Age games that you guys know I fell in love with these games. Before these games I was like, I don't care about Dragon Age. The first one I played was Dragon Age 2, which is supposedly the worst in the series. I played it and I was like, you know what, nah, not a fan of these games. Then I played Inquisition and man, I fell in love with it. And Origins so far is my favorite, my absolute favorite Western RPG of all time. Well, not that I played many, but still. It's my favorite so far, Dragon Age Origins and Inquisition. I love them. Soul Calibur 4, pretty good fighting game. I liked it. I'm not a big fan of Soul Calibur series, but I don't know, I really enjoyed this one, so I kept it. It was part of my merchandise before. I was a reseller, in case some of you didn't know. Now you do, I was, and this was part of my merchandise, and I played it, and I was like, I'll keep it. Enslaved, man, oh my god, that's one game that I really love talking about. It's made by Ninja Theory, the guys who made the DMC reboot, the guys who made Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, and also Heavenly Sword. Pretty underrated games, all of them. Specifically this one. This is a great game, man. Can't wait to talk about it in the near future. Bladestorm, it looks like a Dynasty Warriors, but it's not. It's sort of like a strategy game I've talked about before. Maybe I'll give it some shout out next time. Hunted. These are games that I want to talk about in my channel, in this new channel in the near future, because I have barely covered them because they're not RPGs. Dante's Inferno, no need to talk about that. Deception belongs to a series that many people think are RPGs. I disagree. I don't know what to call them, but they're definitely not RPGs. They're just survival games where you need to put traps to kill your enemies and trap them, and they're gore games. It's a pretty good game, this one. Sonic Genesis Collection, it includes the Shining Force games and the Phantasy Star games, so this one is a must. I love those games. I'm a big fan of Phantasy Star, so yeah. Catherine and Alice. Alice is another game that I can't wait to talk about a lot in this new channel. So yeah. Anyway, that's it, guys. This is my PS3 collection so far. Maybe someday I'll make an update. The more RPGs or the more video games I collect for this amazing system. I love the PS3. Alright, new games here. Sort of like an update. So glad I managed to do this little update before I rendered the video. Well, 6 more games. Here's Tears to Terra 2. This is a hidden gem, guys. This is one of the, well, sort of like one of the best hidden gems on the system. Strategy RPG, pretty solid. Here's another hidden gem on the PS3. Trinity, this is an action RPG. Well, it's not one of the best action RPGs of all time, but it does holds its own ground. This is a pretty solid game. Trinity, Souls of Xillia. I should talk about these games more often. I've talked about a lot of times about White Knight Chronicles 1 and 2. And these games are really cheap, actually, especially this one. If you don't find this game for a very, very low price, like less than $5 or something, maybe $10, that's alright, because White Knight Chronicles 2 includes the first one. That is correct. So, and this is also a $10, $15 game, so you guys can find this one, and you don't want to pay for this one. You can have both games for the price of one. And, well, fighting game, BlazBlue, Calamity Trigger. I'm a fan of BlazBlue. I might start collecting all the others. This was the cheapest of them all, so I began with this one. Arc System Works are the guys who make these games, and I'm a huge fan of fighting games and also a huge fan of Arc System Works. Last but not least, Puppeteer. This is another hidden gem. It's not a JRPG, of course, a platformer. Very beautiful. I might talk about this game in detail one day, because this, my friends, is like the exact definition of hidden gem. It's a platformer, very original. One game you just can't miss, guys. Anyway, this is my small update. Well, that was a lot. That's my PS3 collection, guys. All of these complete in-box original games. And I think I'm missing a few, like maybe 4 or 5 games that I really would like to have. For example, the Trails of Cold Steel games, Legend of Heroes. I know they're going to be releasing them on the PS4, and I would prefer to have the PS4 games, but it wouldn't hurt to have the PS3 ones, right? But anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time.